The Noble Iron and the Fireball is an insane combination, and today we're going to do some epic charges with the Grand Warden and Minion Prince together and get some 3 stars. So here's the army comp we're going to be using. Unsurprisingly, we do have the Fireball equipment on the Warden, but the most interesting one is I'm going to bring the Henchman Puppet on the Minion Prince, because the Henchman Puppet does give an insane amount of extra DPS. Now, obviously, it is far more risky. The Metal Pants is the safer option, but where's the fun if we're doing the safe thing all the time? So the first thing you need to consider with this army is, where do you plan on fireballing? And for me, I wanted this center area of the base. So you start the Minion Prince in an applicable area, you put down your 2 regular loons, they're just looking for any Seeking Mines on the outside of the base, and then you've got 4 rocket balloons, and their job's just to go in and find any deeper traps inside the base. As soon as the Noble Iron passive ability ends of the long shot, then you can put your Warden down. You don't want to put your Warden down earlier, because the Minion Prince actually outranges the Warden, and then the Warden would be taking damage. Unfortunately, we find a Seeking Air Mine there. Now, I was trying to get the Fireball to the Rage Tower. I should have just popped it on the Poison Tower here, though, because I ended up making a bit of a meal of this, because, yeah, the Warden, yeah, goes after the multi. We would have cleared out the entire center of the base, and then I should have recalled right now, because, yeah, the Minion Prince goes down just before a recall. Now, let's pause this here, right? If we'd just done a Minion Prince charge, we wouldn't have cleared that much of the center of the base, particularly the clan castle, but we also don't have an Eternal Tome. So some of you might think it's not worth it, and I'm honestly not sure, but you'll be surprised. Dragons don't need the Eternal Tome as much as you think. Now, I completely butchered this funnel. This was stupid. I should have waited for the baby dragon, and we do end up losing 3 dragons down the bottom. But we're going to enter from this side here because we've got a nice funnel set. And then I really like using the Stone Slammer rather than the Siege Barracks that you normally see, because my queen, I'm not going to put her in a risky situation. She doesn't need help, whereas the dragons need help with this. So the Stone Slammer is just nice. It can get out in front and tank. And have a look at this, right? Because we dealt with the Rage Towers, the core of that base really wasn't that bad. Dragons are coming across here, and now we've got the Royal Champion on the back end of the base, just the damage equipment. I've got, I believe, 2 freeze spells with this army. Yeah, 2 freeze spells with the army, and we're going to use both of them on the Town Hall and the Monolith here. Yes, it's not as good as an Eternal Tome, but it is pretty good, and the Royal Champion will finish off the Town Hall as well. And look at how many troops we still have up. The Dragon Rider out of the CC, I really like with this army. It does so much effective damage, and this ends up being kind of an overkill, despite the fact that I butcher the Minion Prince Grand Warden charge at the start. I think this army genuinely has a really good chance of being strong in the meta, even though we don't think of the Fireball being effective with dragons. I'm sure most of you recognize this base, and I couldn't really decide where to Fireball, so I end up going for this section of the base. So there is an air defense right there, so I take it down with 2 of the rocket balloons, put 1 regular loon. There are no Seeking Air Mines in the area, and now we can let the Minion Prince do his thing. Now, the Minion Prince is so much better when you do it with the Warden as well, but it is risky if you do the Noble Iron and the Warden together. So I decided to take no risk. Even if it means slightly less value, it is worth it. So we get the Minion Prince and Warden to go in here. I pop the Fireball ability. We get the CC Invis Tower as well, and we're still going to keep on going here, just clearing out a huge chunk of the base. I've still got 1 more invis after this. Not sure how the Town Hall shot there. That was a little upsetting. Gonna go and get rid of this this multi-archer tower, and just look at how much damage the Minion Prince does so quickly. That multi-archer tower gets wrecked in about 1 second. Now, I'm gonna come out and say this. This was my 2nd ever attack with the army, so I don't really know what I was doing. So I took a second to plan here, but this is what I should have been doing. The biggest thing we've got to worry about here is the sweeper. I've taken down 1 of them. Where's the other one facing? Because we don't want to go into a sweeper. Yes, we have got 3 freeze spells, not 2, 3 freeze spells, but I don't want to have to use them on the sweeper. We'd much rather save them for the Town Hall. Now, I do end up going into the sweeper, which was stupid, but yeah, I need to think about the sweeper, and then I want you also to think about your Archer Queen. Like, yeah, you're going to pop the giant arrow, but is she going to be able to stay alive beyond that? Because I put my dragons down here. This is kind of where the natural funnel ended, so this to me made the most sense. I accidentally popped my Minion Prince ability. Then I used my Archer Queen on the top side though, and this, yeah, the giant arrow is nice. We hit that geared up cannon and we get rid of an air defense, but my Archer Queen's now right next to a single Inferno, and I have to use 1 free spell here because how am I going to keep her alive? Worth noting, by the way, I go straight into a Rage Tower, which isn't a bad idea. It's something you should definitely do, but without an Eternal Tome. And we still kind of just go through it like it's nothing because, well, we have 13 dragons. Archer Queen goes down here to the Ricochet Cannon and the Ground Bow. We've got the Royal Champion on the left side. By the way, right here, you're going to see why the Royal Champion doesn't work very well with the Spirit Fox. Because look at this. 3 spears just wasted, whereas if you use the Diggy kind of clumps the skeletons around it, so it would be maximum 2. But it doesn't matter anyway. I mean, you just get so much value with the Minion Prince and Grand Warden charge. That's an interesting spot for a NATO. You get so much value from the start that dragons are excellent at finishing off the base, and you still have your Siege Machine and your Royal Champion ability to finish off the back end of the base. I mean, this is just amazing. But what about where you go up against a base like this and you don't want to fireball the center because obviously you want to fireball the outside of the base? Well, let's start with the fireball and then do the Minion Prince charge. So I fireball all of that out. Then we're going to come in with the Minion Prince here. And you see the Warden's sitting nice and far back, which is perfect. Got a little lucky that those were red bombs. That could definitely be an area of the base for seeking air mines. But you're going to see what I do in a second here. I was convinced there would be seeking air mines around the town hall, so I just popped the Henchman Puppet ability. The Henchman Puppets aren't really that insane, and when you're doing the mass dragon part of the attack anyway, you have 13 dragons to tank for the Minion Prince, so the ability isn't really the be-all and end-all. So I'd much rather use that during the charge where the Minion Prince has no protection, and if I get that town hall down, I kind of know I have the base tripled. Now, obviously, there still is another Invis Tower on the base, but there are so many ways we can deal with that. We've got a Stone Slammer, but the easiest one is obviously this Giant Arrow ability. Now, I don't want a Giant Arrow immediately, because then by the time my dragons get over there, the Invis Tower will have reset. So I just wait 5 seconds, and then we go straight in. Now, I was stupid yet again. We go straight into a sweeper here. In saying that, we're always going to kind of go into a sweeper, but I probably should have froze it early on. I definitely thought during this attack, geez, I thought my dragons would have made more progress. Definitely makes sense why now. We got the Royal Champion on the right-hand side, and she's just finishing off all those buildings. They got weakened by the Giant Arrow anyway, and this is just ideal. She just picks it off at range, and it is beautiful. And yeah, there's nowhere near enough left on the base here to stop a 3-star attack. So that's what I like about this attack strategy. If you want to fireball in the center of the base, then you do your Minion Prince charge and fireball then. If you want to fireball immediately, which works against these style of bases, fireball and then finish it up with the Minion Prince charge. A little bit of flexibility, not a lot, but a little bit of flexibility, and that will go a long way to being able to take down a variety of bases. Now, I wouldn't be a good content creator if I didn't show you guys the risks with this attack strategy, and in particular some fails. I'm not just here to show you guys my triples. I want to show you guys what happens when I don't. So that rocket balloon there pulls 3 air traps, 1 seeking air mine and then 2 traps behind that we don't quite see. Now, what I wanted to do here was fireball this scatter shot and then have the Minion Prince go to the left and maybe even invis all that to go to the town hall, because if we get the town hall down, this base is over. Let's actually go to half speed. So we get the fireball off. It does its thing. Unfortunately, the Minion Prince goes to the right, and then look at all these traps. And the Minion Prince dies through his ability, which I think is pretty understandable. He just took like 7 traps to the face. But look at this. There's also traps on the outside of the base. So safe to say, this defender here was trying to bait something. I don't know if it was a blimp attack or more likely a Minion Prince charge attack. But you see, even though I used the rocket balloons, there's only so much you can do some of the time. Yeah, I can try and be better with it, but I'm also focusing on the charge. Now, that was a terrible Giant Arrow. I was trying to hit 2 air defenses, and I missed. And that's going to end up being a problem. So we come in with the blimp, because obviously I need the blimp here. It'd be impossible to funnel my dragons to that town hall. Don't have a rage spell, but I do have a quake, because I only needed 1 quake spell for the fireball, and I just used 2 freeze spells to make sure that town hall goes down. We get lucky that there's no NATO in the way. I think, no, that's not the NATO there. Anyway, The NATO's probably on this side of the base, honestly. Anyway, you can see here, we're doing the absolute best that we can. I decided to use the Royal Champion on the top side of the base to get rid of that air defense to help the dragons out. The invis are okay with dragons, but they're not amazing, and you can see, without a healing tome or an eternal tome, the dragons do eventually get quite low, and they all go down at once, and you can see my queen here annoyingly went inside the base. So the Royal Champion comes here. This poison spell angered me. That was so stupid of me. I just keep forgetting that the Fox will make the Royal Champion invisible. Thankfully, the Fox makes her invisible again, but you're going to see this base was just perfectly trapped for this entry. So I freeze, and I was kind of hoping that the freeze would last just long enough that we could get another set of invis from the Fox, but the NATO, there it is, and all the giant bombs just work perfectly. Now, you're going to see this says 50 seconds here, because this ends up being a time fail, despite everything that went wrong in this attack. This ends up being a time fail, because there's no way a bunch of Teslas are taking down a queen with healers. It is a big time fail. It wasn't close to a triple, but I just wanted to show you guys this. Obviously, this is incredibly risky, and it can definitely go wrong like you saw for me here. But even if it goes wrong, you can still get up to 29 cups and you can still get 3 stars. I honestly wasn't that far from the 3-star here. So I want you guys to keep that in mind when you use this attack strategy. If you do want to be safer, then bring the metal pants. But I mean, I kind of like the risk. It makes it a bit more fun. If you want to see more Minion Prince charge attack strategies, we'll link the one on the left. I don't use the fireball with that though. I use the Eternal Tome with the dragons.